In everywhere you look, if you're a scientist, everywhere you look into any given question deeply, you run into conundrums and profound sources of disagreement, even about what's hypothetically fundamental. I mean, the climate science is a good example of that. That's an appalling scam.
How so?
Well, here's the simplest way to look at it. You can tell me what you make of this. Okay, so we're essentially in a carbon dioxide drought by historical standards. So if you look at the proportion of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere over the last number of hundreds of millions of years, we're at a very, very low level. We dropped to about 350 parts per million by, say, 1850, something like that. Plants start to die at 250, right? Because they need carbon dioxide. So we were almost at the point where the plants were going to start to die. That's how low the carbon dioxide levels are. Now, they have been increasing. Why? Well, some of that's probably man-made. That's not exactly settled, but we could give the devil his due and say some of that's man-made. Okay, so now we're up to something in the low 400s. And that's been increasing, and perhaps because of industrial output. So what's been the major consequence? The major consequence is that the planet is 20% greener than it was in the year 2000. 20%. This is NASA data. No one disputes this, by the way. The satellite imagery is absolutely clear.
Okay.
20% greener. An area the size of the continental US has greened since the year 2000. So the whole planet is 20% greener. That's a big effect. Crop yield has gone up 13%. Right, okay. Where's the planet getting greener? Because you heard climate, global warming. The deserts are going to grow. Well, then it wasn't global warming because that turned out to be a scam. Then it was climate change. The deserts are going to grow. It's like, no, the deserts are shrinking. The deserts are shrinking because the planet is greening because there's more carbon dioxide. If you took a dispassionate look at the data and you looked at the effects of carbon dioxide, the biggest effect clearly by likely an order of magnitude is the greening effect. It's like, well, is that good? Well, the opposite was what was predicted, and the opposite was regarded as a catastrophe. Okay, so the opposite of a catastrophe is good. There's more plants and crops grow better. Okay, so what's the problem exactly?